Hi, my name is Indranil. I am doing this for the first time, so I'm kind of nervous. I don't know what to say. But I suppose I want to say what I want to, and English is not my first language, so I apologize for any mistakes in grammar or any kind of wrong construction sentence that I do. But I am doing here a metal review, metal album review. I will start off with this album called Amorphis, Queen of Time. Funny fact, Amorphis was the first band that was added to Metal Archives or the Encyclopedia Metallum, and it is also the first. It is the first album that I'm reviewing. This is the first thing that I'm doing for the first time actually. It is the review of Amorphis, Queen of Time album, and I have heard one album of Amorphis before. It was this 2016 album. I forgot its name. I guess like before I started this video, I should have done a little bit of research, but I got lazy and I didn't do it. I listened to the album two times. Usually, I listen to album three times before I switch over to the next album. But this one I listened to two times. So I thought that it's a good time to do this album just as long as I had the inspiration to do it as well. So enough with enough with the introduction. This album is good. It's not a bad album. It's album that I have. It's got 13 songs in it. Okay, it's a long ass album. Like there were times while listening to this album that I was hoping that okay, when will this album finish off, because it is huge. It runs over 60 minutes. I'm pretty sure of that. Every song is over 5 minutes long, more or less. uh Songs are good. Songs are extremely melodious. Like the previous album that I heard of Amorphis, it wasn't as melodious as this. But I think they've shifted to a much more to a sound which is much more rock based instead of being more metal. Now, don't get me wrong. There are harsh vocals. There are good drumming. There are cool riffs and all. But it doesn't sound metal. That's my major problem with this album. Uh, there are some good songs. B is one of the cool songs. Heart of the Giant is good, I suppose. Grain of Sand is cool again. But majority of the songs, they sound very alike to each other. Now, this is again in contradiction to what most of metal albums are like. They stick to a particular sound. But this album seemed boring to me, to say the truth. It's very melodic. I like melody in metal, but this one has too much of melody and it sounded a bit pop based or a bit rock based to me. When I thought what I had in expectation from Amorphis, this wasn't that, to say the truth. That's why I'm a bit disappointed. It's still a very solid album. Say someone who is very new to metal, wants to get into harsher vocal aspect of it, and wants to really start off with metal. For them, this album is a very good album to start on with. It will make them really get into metal even more. But for me, who has got a seasoned metal ear, I have been listening to metal for over 10 to 12 years now, even earlier than that. But then I was in new metal and shit. Now I'm much more into much more heavier genres and more old school genres of metal. Not that I dislike experimental stuff, but this album was kind of a disappointment to me, to say the truth. This album kind of reminded me, somehow reminded me of Enspherum. Now, that's a good thing, to say the truth, because I like Enspherum. I do not love them, to say the truth, but I like them a lot. But I figured Amorphis would make a sound which is very different to, which would be kind of different. And this album got a number of rave reviews, so I figured that Amorphis would really uh, make me feel very excited. Like I was kind of excited while going for this album. Uh, but that wasn't the case of it. Not much songs of this album will go into my playlist. That's about it. I suppose I haven't gotten into the lyrics. I usually don't read lyrics of metal songs. I don't read lyrics of songs until and unless I'm really interested in it. Now again, time and again, I'm saying that album is good. It's not a bad album. It's not a shitty album as such. But I was expected the album lacks oomph. To say the truth, the album lacks that power. The album art cover is excellent, by the way. I'm thinking of printing it on a T-shirt. Uh, so, but overall, I hoped that my first video, what I'm doing, I hope that I would have been able to give a really cool review of an album, especially of a band like Amorphis who have been in this industry for so long. I'm sad to say this, but make this review sound a bit bleak and disappointed as far as me metal is concerned. But I am hoping that Amorphis will get back to their much more metal oriented sound, much more hard sound. I'm hoping that would be it. I'll so that's it for me. I hope you guys see this video and tada.